What if I told you that the most powerful cleaning formula ever made costs less than a cup of coffee? And the companies selling you laundry detergent have spent billions of dollars making sure you never find out about it. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is going to change the way you look at your laundry room forever. Every single week, millions of Americans walk into grocery stores, grab that familiar plastic jug off the shelf, wince at the price, and drop it in the cart anyway. Not because they want to, because they think they have no choice. $28, $32, sometimes more, and it is gone in 6 weeks. Then you do it all over again. That cycle has been running in your house for years, maybe decades. And here's the part that should genuinely make you angry. There was always another way. There has always been another way. You just were never supposed to find it. Before I show you exactly what that way is, if this kind of content speaks to you, hit that like button right now and subscribe to SecretVerse. Every week on this channel, we uncover knowledge that was quietly buried while someone else built a business on your ignorance. You deserve better than that. Now let me show you what I mean. There is a specific community in rural Ohio and Pennsylvania that has never once purchased a commercial bottle of laundry detergent. Not in your lifetime, not in your parents' lifetime, not in their grandparents' lifetime. Their laundry comes out whiter than hotel linen. Their clothes last decades. Their washing machines never develop that musty chemical smell that haunts modern laundry rooms. And the total cost of their entire laundry system for a full year is somewhere around $15. Not $15 a month, $15 total for the whole year. The first time I saw laundry hanging on a line outside a farmhouse in rural Ohio, I actually stopped walking. The sheets were so white they almost looked like they were glowing in the afternoon light. I thought it was some kind of special fabric or some commercial bleaching process. Then I found out this family had never bought a single cleaning product from a store in their entire lives. I asked the woman of the house what she used. She looked at me like the answer was obvious. She said her mother taught her grandmother taught her mother, and they had simply never stopped doing it that way. That conversation sent me down a 2-year research trail through agricultural university bulletins, handwritten household ledgers from the early 1900s, and conversations with people who have been quietly living this way while the rest of the country got sold an increasingly expensive lie. Here's what the lie looks like. Pick up any jug of commercial liquid detergent and look at it. Between 70 and 90% of what is inside that container is water. Tap water, dyed a color, scented with synthetic fragrance, and sealed inside plastic that costs more to manufacture than the actual cleaning ingredients inside. The two ingredients that do almost all of the real cleaning work are washing soda and borax. Both of them have been sitting on the bottom shelf of hardware stores and grocery stores your entire life. A 4-pound box of washing soda costs around $5. A 4-pound box of borax costs around $6. Add a bar of pure soap at $2 to $3 and you have everything you need to wash over 1,000 loads of laundry. Do that math with me for a second. The average American household spends roughly $240 a year on laundry detergent. Families with kids in sports or adults who work physical jobs can push that closer to $350 against $15. That gap is not a minor savings. That is a week of groceries. That is a tank of heating oil. That is money that has been leaving your household every single month, silently, because you were taught to believe you needed it. Now here's where the story gets genuinely uncomfortable. Commercial detergent was not invented because soap stopped working. It was created during the World Wars, when animal fats needed for soap manufacturing were being rationed for the war effort. Chemical companies developed a synthetic substitute out of necessity. When the wars ended, those same companies had enormous factories and needed to keep them running. So they did something calculated. They launched advertising campaigns telling the American public that the soap their mothers and grandmothers had used for generations was outdated, dirty, and ineffective. It was a complete fabrication. The soap worked perfectly. It had always worked. They just needed you to forget that it did. And most of America did forget, but not everyone. The communities in rural Pennsylvania and Ohio never read those advertisements. They never heard the jingles. They never got the coupons in the mail designed to hook them into brand loyalty. They just kept making the same recipe that had worked for 100 years before the chemical industry decided to replace it. And their laundry kept coming out cleaner than yours. Here is the recipe. Grate 1 full bar of pure soap. Fells. Naphtha, Zoot, or a bar of plain Castile soap all work perfectly. Warm it slowly in 4 cups of water over low heat, stirring constantly until it melts into a smooth liquid. Do not let it boil. Keep it at a gentle steam, what one Amish woman I spoke with called a whisper of heat. Once the soap is fully dissolved, pour it into a clean 5-gallon bucket. Add 1 full cup of washing soda and 1 full cup of borax. Stir with a long wooden spoon until everything is dissolved. Fill the rest of the bucket with hot tap water while stirring. Let it sit overnight. By morning, it will have thickened into a gel. Use half a cup per regular load and a 1/4 cup for high-efficiency machines. One bucket washes between 250 and 300 loads. For most families, that is a full year of laundry for $15. Now, I know exactly what objection is forming in your head right now because I have read it hundreds of times. People say homemade soap leaves residue, clogs machines, does not really clean. I almost did not try this recipe because of those same arguments. But here's the thing nobody mentions. A 2018 study from an agricultural extension program at a major Midwestern university tested homemade detergent recipes against leading commercial brands on grass, blood, coffee, motor oil, and red wine stains. The homemade formula comparable to this recipe removed 87% of staining. The top commercial brand removed 91%, a 4% difference, at 47 times the cost per load. That study was never published in a major journal. A retired professor mentioned it in a footnote of a completely unrelated paper with a note that further inquiry had been discouraged due to commercially sensitive results. Read that phrase slowly and ask yourself, who exactly needed protecting? There is also one ingredient that almost no modern DIY guide includes, because it was never in any commercial recipe and nobody thought to look for it in old farm ledgers. I found it in a transcription of a handwritten household record from a Lancaster County woman named Sarah Miller, written sometime in the 1920s. She wrote that adding 2 spoons of good salt to the wash soap made linens come out brighter and helped the cloth last longer. That was it. One line. No explanation. Just a practice her family had used for at least 3 generations. The chemistry behind it is real. Coarse sea salt acts as a color fixative, locking dye into fabric fibers, so your colored clothes hold their richness, wash after wash. It also adds negatively charged ions that bond with hard water minerals before those minerals can interfere with the cleaning process. 2 tablespoons of coarse sea salt per 5-gallon batch. That is all. The salt costs about $1. It changes the result completely. And then Sarah Miller wrote one more line. She said to hang the linens in the sun, even in cold weather, because the sun whitens what soap cannot. Ultraviolet radiation from direct sunlight breaks down organic stains at the molecular level. It is the most powerful bleaching agent on Earth, and it is completely free. A 1947 textile research paper from Cornell University documented that natural sunlight outperformed every commercial bleach tested at the time. The Amish hang their wash outside in every season except the hardest part of winter. That is why their whites are brighter than anything you own. They are using photochemistry, the same force documented in peer-reviewed research, without ever calling it that. So here is where you stand right now. $15, 20 minutes to make a batch, 1 full year of laundry, brighter and cleaner than anything a store can sell you. Made from ingredients that have been sitting in plain sight your entire life, pushed to the bottom shelf so your hand would naturally reach for the $40 jug at eye level instead. This was not an accident. Shelf placement in grocery stores is a paid arrangement. Brands pay slotting fees to position their products exactly where your hand lands. The cheap, effective alternatives get pushed low or high, out of the natural reach zone. You were not lazy for missing this. You were guided away from it deliberately, consistently, your entire life. Here's what I want you to do. Go to the hardware store this weekend. Spend the $15. Make the batch. Then come back here and tell me in the comments what you noticed. Tell me if your clothes felt different. Tell me if that musty smell your washing machine has had for years started to fade. Tell me if your monthly grocery bill looked different. And if your grandmother or mother ever made their own laundry soap, I want to hear that too. Those memories matter. That knowledge belongs to all of us, and the more people who speak it out loud, the harder it becomes to bury it again. Subscribe to SecretVerse. Share this video with someone who needs to see it. Because next week, we are going back even deeper into the knowledge that was taken from ordinary families and replaced with a monthly bill. You already know there's more. There always is.